room members, y'all know I'm spinning the block for y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Give y'all some time to hop on in this thing, man. But just continuing that conversation, baby. Jets Steelers game recap. Obviously, Jets getting that dub 24-20. Still falling to 1-3. Not a fan of it, but here we are. Jason Winston, I see you pulling up. Rod Dollars, what it do? Skitty upper room members a little time. The upper room, yes indeed. There it is. I see you in the building, Chase. Grieve. What's good? What is good? Alright, Don Juan, I see you in the house. Let's go. See my upper room pulling up. Gone, gang. Alright. Okay, Rod Dawes, I see you hopping it off, man. Let's get this thing going. He says, is the season over? No. Do we suck right now? Yes. I mean, that is a nice way to put it. I mean, when you're thinking about it realistically. No, the season isn't over because we're 1-3. And clearly we have plenty of football left. But right now we are playing like a bad team. We're playing like an inconsistent team, and that is not good. But the optimism is there for a reason. All right. D'Angelo May. We are not 2-2. I had so much confidence we had this one. D'Angelo, that makes two of us. Because for a fact, I mean, y'all heard I was talking on the podcast. I thought this was one of those ones that everything was, pointing to us getting it done. I kind of felt like this reminds me of when we played the Patriots, just in the sense of the confidence that I had in this team, the matchups, just on paper feeling like we had the better unit. This is, that same type of just like, man, head scratcher. How didn't we get out that stadium? How didn't we win that game right there? Like, not a fan of that, man. And Jason Winston says, overall, another close, disappointing loss. Yeah, and that's the other part, man. When you're talking about this team right now, man, these games are going to be close. We know this. I mean, first off, we know that that's still away, right? If you're not ready for the cardiac, don't be a Steelers fan, right? But it is one of those ones where you're just kind of like, man, another close, disappointing loss because we feel like we should have won it. We felt like we had everything in place, even in the midst of all of our own shortcomings, for us to be able to get out of that stadium with a win. So whenever we don't do that, and it looks like how it did at times, and we got this roller coaster of emotions and feelings, yeah, man, it does suck, man. Absolutely. Okay. Shout out to Leah Warren as well, man. I got love for you. Big time. And she says, here as well, but in a funk. Leah, I appreciate you. I'm in a funk also. That's why I researched a little bit more, so that way I could uplift myself before hopping on this space talk, because I hate whenever the guys lose, man. It bothers me very, very much. Very, very much. I just try to display it in a very professional manner because I'm on camera all the time. But yes, it's been plenty of times today and over these past couple of weeks where I'm over here like, yo, let's throw the TV. Let's burn everything. I can't take another L. So yes, I'm with you. I am with you. But that's why this is like group therapy. Healing session. All right. Thomas Riley says, Moats, do you think Mike Tomlin is now on the hot seat? No, I don't think that. Just because we know as fans, we feel a lot more pressure. We feel a lot more urgency. And we think changes have to be made always after a short span of time. And that was just reflected even with the quarterback situation, right? But with Coach Tomlin is different because he has such a long track record of being the guy, getting it right, that you're not going to just turn the page and say, oh yeah, first year without Ben Roethlisberger, first year without Kevin Colbert, now you're on the hot seat. Nah, I don't think it's going to be like that. I just think it's one of those things that, we're seeing the transition. We're going to see now if he can continue his success, if he can continue winning, not just when Ben is injured, but now that Ben is no longer on the roster. I think that's going to be the thing that we're seeing right now with Coach Tomlin. It's going to be different in terms of his approach, but we're seeing how he's handling this quarterback situation. He was a little bit aggressive in terms of, from my perspective, aggressive in the terms of how soon he made that switch to Kenny. Right or wrong, for whoever wants to roll with it and stuff like that. But to me, man, I think that Mr. Rooney, number one, I know 100% with Mr. Rooney, he trusts Mike Tomlin. And rightfully so, because Mike Tomlin has earned that in terms of Coach Tomlin, excuse me on that. But I think that that's the biggest reason why Coach Tomlin isn't on the hot seat right now, man. I don't think that'd be the case for another couple of years. Like, I think it would have to be bad, almost like just embarrassing for multiple seasons for it to get to the point where he becomes on the hot seat. And that's barring him doing anything crazy. Now, I'm not saying that he would because it's Coach Tomlin, but it's that type of context when I think of him in terms of hot seats. All right. Don Juan says, we're at the bottom of the North right now. Do you think we are freaking out since 7 is gone? Yeah, part of it is that because whenever you face change, we already know people are very apprehensive to change. Whether it's change for the better or change for the worse, people don't like to feel uncomfortable. And right now, we're all feeling uncomfortable. And that's part of the reason why everything is so drastic. Everything is so like, we need a big change. Why do we need a big change? So it can make you feel more comfortable. Nah, that's not how it works in this league, man. Big changes, they don't just happen. And you definitely don't make them in season and expect, these results to just keep going on and being positive and stuff like that. But yeah, man, losing 7, not losing him because obviously he retired, but yeah, him leaving, a lot of people found hope in him. Just in the simple fact of how many times have you heard Deke say it, I've said it, multiple guys say it, man, when you have a quarterback like Ben, or if it's Brady or Rodgers or Mahomes, you always feel like you got a chance. That Green Bay Packers team right now, their roster isn't that good, but the Packer fans feel like, yo, we got a chance. And why? Because they got the quarterback, they got Aaron Rodgers. So for us, we just have lost that thing that we could always hang our hat on and find comfort in. So yeah, I do think that that has added to some of the just wackiness in a sense of how quick we're ready to fire this guy, bring this guy in, start this guy, bench this guy. Like, that is a part of it. But it is human nature. So that's why it's like, don't feel like negative about it, but that's just the context of it as it pertains to us right now. All right, let me see. Chase Greaves says, I gotta say, Pickett gonna come back and beat the Bills. I'm sorry in advance, Moats. With the dab on him. Hey, man, you don't gotta be sorry to me, baby. We need the Steelers to win. I ain't tripping. The Bills took care of business today. They helped us out. They beat Baltimore. So we ain't tripping at all, man. But yeah, man, I'm hoping that he does do what he needs to do, man, for this team to be successful, though, because we need him. And that's been the stance for, at least for me, I guess I can't speak on everybody with the quarterbacks, but for me, it doesn't matter who is that quarterback. Who is going to help us win games? That's it. If it's Kenny, great. If it's Mason, great. If it's somebody totally different, great. But whoever it is, as long as they're helping us win, that's all I care about, baby. Rod Dollar says, can you imagine a Debo formation with Claypool and Najee Harris / Jalen Warren in the backfield with George Pickens on the outside blocking? It all seems so simple. I mean, yeah, that does seem simple. I do like that. And I'm sure there's something that they've flirted with or thought about, but there's also reasons as to why they don't call it or the timing of when you would call some of that stuff. And that's the thing that I think we kind of lose sight of at times from our perspective of just being able to watch the game. It's a lot different when you're the person calling these plays and you have the consequences on you. Some of the creativity, some of that stuff is cool on paper, but when you're talking about doing it in stadium and some of the moving parts and stuff like that, I can understand why not every team is, chomping at the bit to kind of do some of that stuff. And then obviously when you're talking about our offense in particular as well, we still got things that we're trying to get ironed out from a consistency standpoint. And then obviously just trying to figure out the quarterback thing. We made a switch at quarterback this game. So once again, man, it's hard to kind of get into some of those exotic personnel groups like you're talking about when we're still having big changes and trying to figure out what our regular identity is as well. Because for the Niners, they do a lot of that with Debo, but that's their identity. They're a West Coast offense. They're a run-first unit that is going to throw off with a play-action pass, and they're looking for draggers and crossers. That's how their offense is ran. We wouldn't like that because we want explosive offense. We don't want short to intermediate passing. We want throws downfield. So that's the other part where I'm just like, yeah, we would like it right now, But I don't know if that's what we would want going forward for us to really start doing some of that type of stuff, or for Matt Canada to feel comfortable with doing that type of stuff either. All right, Jason Winston. Every move and every loss is so polarizing right now. Yeah, that's where we're at right now, man. As a team, as a fan base, but part of that is because of the big changes that took place this offseason. We feel kind of like we're on the open, like, bro, are we still gonna be, that team, that franchise? Are we still gonna be the gold standard, or where are we at now? That's normal. That's a part of it as well. But that's why we also need these guys to pick it up, so that we can find out and we can know, and we can say, hey, if they are in house, great. But if they're not here and we need to go shopping, whether that's free agency, the draft, and things like that, well, then cool, we'll know that as well. But I'm hoping that it's the good and not the bad. So we will see, though, going forward with those guys. All right, let me see who else we got in this thing. Oh, Donald Copeland, he brings up a good point. He says, we wanted a storybook win. These are just growing pains. Yeah, that was the case. Everybody wanted a storybook, man. Or, let's say everybody. The Kenny crowd wanted a storybook. The Mitch crowd did not want the storybook. And then the rest of us that are kind of in between the civil war within still a nation, we're just kind of like, yo, can we just get a win? I don't care who has to do it. Just figure it out. Yeah, that's that's where we're at right now. But yeah, man, these are growing pains. This is going to be a part of it, man. You're going to have some highs and some lows. You're going to have some good throws like we saw from Kenny today. You're going to have some throws where you're just like, man, that kind of hurt us right there. It's a part of being young. It's a part of just getting your NFL legs up under you, man. The big thing is, though, we're going to find out. A couple. We're going to find out from the team. We're going to find out from the fan base as well how long we can stomach it. We're going to find out when turnovers are happening in a sense, like we saw, obviously like we saw today. And like I said, all of them were not on Kenny, but that is a part of younger players. They do turn the ball over. We're also going to see with Coach Tomlin how he feels about some of that type of stuff. We will see with this fan base, how do they feel in terms of when turnovers are happening a little bit more frequently, or just some of the highs and lows of young players being out there. Same stuff that even Ben Roethlisberger dealt with, so to speak, his rookie year. It wasn't like they just rolled it out there and gave him every single opportunity. When I think of those things, it's like, we also have to remember that context as well, man. So with this, he's going to have growing pains, but as a whole, support him. The same way I said to support Mitch, the players need support. If you're already going to be struggling one way or the other, you much rather feel optimistic about yourself because you got people giving you positive energy versus being the other way. So that's kind of my thought process with it, man. All right. Ooh, this is a good one right here by Zik Shazier. He says, do you think Mitch has a chance to get back in next game, or is it just Kenny the rest of the way? To me, I think you have to go with Kenny for at least the next couple of games until it's either god awful. I mean, because if it's not god awful, I don't see why you would make the switch back, because this is the person that you switched to, And it wasn't like you switched him solely because Mitch was doing everything wrong or nothing right. That was not the case. You did it because you wanted the energy, you wanted the pop, you wanted the fan base, you wanted all those other intangibles to go with it. So you kind of have to live with that for these next couple of games at least. Because otherwise, when you start going back and forth as a player, you start looking at this coach and you're like, bro, what's the direction of this team? If you can't figure out who you believe in, how the heck am I supposed to figure out who we're supposed to believe in? And that's some of the issues that you run into when you make this switch. And that's why it's like, all right, you make the switch. Going forward now, Kenny has to keep getting better. It can't be him being out there for multiple games and we're looking and it's looking like the same thing for Mr. Trubisky or worse. That's how you potentially have issues within your team. As long as Kenny keeps going in the right direction, I think everything is fine. But I think it'll be very, very hard and just not good coaching decision-wise to make this move in this game and then come back next week and say, hey, man, Mitch, you're the guy now. Like, I personally wouldn't agree with that. All right. And Thomas Riley, Moats, Deke is going to be walking like he is Stone Cold on tomorrow's show, LOL. Nah, man, you're right. It's funny, though. I want to see his energy, man, because, like you said, man, Kenny got his opportunity, and Kenny did score. Scored twice, right? Using his legs. Some of his best plays with his legs. But you're also going to have the Kenny haters, man. They're going to keep bringing up them picks, them turnovers. For a fact, that's what we're going to do. Like I said, man, one of the picks I do think was solely his responsibility. The Claypool one, you can make, once we see the tape, you can have your opinion on stuff like that. The third one, I say it's a Hail Mary, so watch to me. I'm not tripping on that. But not everybody's going to have that type of perspective like I have. Not everybody's going to have that type of energy. So that's the part where it will be funny to see if he comes in here on his soapbox too. Because you know how my man D do. He feel like he got to put that armor on and defend. So we're going to see, man. We shall see. But either way, it's going to be fun. I tell you that. All right. And Donald Copeland says, Mitch is done in this town. I mean, if I was Mitch, I wouldn't be rocking with y'all either right now. I mean, it's like you never really gave the man a chance. That's my whole thing. But you know how it goes. We're going to point and say who we want to support, and then we're going to spin that narrative. We're going to spin it after that, man. But yeah, if I was Mr. Trubisky, man, I would not blame him if that was his energy. But the problem is this. We still got 13, potentially plus more games if we get into the postseason. Bad plays happen, injuries happen. So it's one of them things where this could very well still come back to Mitch at any point in time. So that's the other part as a player where you kind of got to take away the human element of it, because the human element definitely says what? Hey, man, bump that. Y'all don't want to support me, man. I ain't rocking with y'all. Kenny, get it how you live, man. If he go down, man, put Mason in there. But as a fan base, that doesn't help us out either. So that's the part where it's like, man, Mitch, man, you still need to be here. You still need to be invested in this thing, because it could very well come back to you at some point in time. But hopefully the young guy comes out there and, does what he needs to do going forward, so we don't have to keep playing this quarterback yo-yo, because that is not the recipe for success. All right. You got a couple more. Then after that, man, we are going to hit it. But yeah, shout out to Donald Copeland right here. He brings up George Pickens. He says saying Kenny Pickett had 170 yards. Welcome to Kenny World. All right. And then where are we at? Oh, Kyle Monyer, he says Mitch looked like he wanted to be traded once he got pulled. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't see Mitch's face because I was still in the stadium when that happened, when they pulled him and stuff like that. But I mean, I can understand. But can you fault him? I mean, in terms of having that emotion, right? You should be pissed if you're a player. You want to be out there. If the dude came on the sideline and was smiling, happy-go-lucky, we'd be saying, what, man? He don't care. He don't care about football. He don't love this thing. So it's like, man, he going to be pissed off about it. But the big thing is this, man. He has to be professional. Excuse me. And as a guy who's been in similar situations like this, I've been on the front end of it where you're replacing a guy, a veteran. I've been on the back end where you're being replaced. You have to be even keeled. You have to still show up every single day and prepare. You still have to be in tune. You still got to make sure you're doing all your routine things and stuff like that, because in all honesty, it can very well come back to Mitch. You just never know how this thing goes. And that's the part where it's like, if you're pouting, if you're going in the tank, if you're, holding this personal vendetta or taking this decision, which is business related, but you're taking it as a personal thing as a player, that hurts you more than it helps you. So like I said, speaking from experience from both sides of this thing, you can't, if you're Mitch, let it get to that point, which you can't take it personal. You just got to keep playing, doing your thing. And whenever your number's called again, man, hopefully it works out a little bit better for you that time. Ooh, Kyle Monyer, you foul. Kyle Monyer says George Pickens look like AB out there, just not at the pool. Yes, George, stay away from all pools in Dubai. If AB is in that pool, we don't need you a part of any of that. I don't even want to deep dive into that. I'm sure it'll come up tomorrow, but we're not doing with that today. But yeah, man, George definitely, he was on one, man. He looked good, start to finish. Like I said, I like the fact that in the first half with Mitch, he was trying to get more intentional in terms of getting George Pickens involved. And we saw that. We saw the results from that. But then even in the second half, man, seeing some of the back shoulder connections from George Pickens and Kenny Pickett, it was good to see that type of rapport as well. And yeah, just seeing the overall confidence from George, man. So going forward, man, I definitely think that we're going to keep seeing his game evolve. Once again, we talked about him Thursday night. Got better. Talked about him on Sunday. He's getting better. That's the thing. It's just going to keep expanding, but it's time. And that's the part where we can't lose sight of that. when we are on this journey, time is a part of it, man. You can't skip these steps. You can't skip the growing pain steps. You can't skip the inconsistency step to just jump right to the final product. That's just not where we're going to be. That's not how it works, especially in football. So hopefully it won't take forever to get done, but that is, kind of where we are right now. But as I look at my clock, that is a 20 piece, and we did go a little extra long on the space talk. So this is gonna be it today, man. But I definitely appreciate all y'all. The upper room, y'all the homies, man. So major love for y'all, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this as well, and obviously the big space talk also, man. But yeah, we're gonna bounce back, man. Let's get the good guys getting in that win column next week, hopefully. But either way, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure you like the vid as well, and don't forget this full space talk was brought to you once again by Manscaped, leaders in below the waistline grooming. So make sure you use that promo code MOATS, get you 20% off along with your free shipping worldwide. Like the stream, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. But either way, I appreciate you. And until next time, baby. Peace.